Hey, this is Mr. Dudley, and I want to show you how to subtract mixed numbers. Okay, a mixed number is a number that has a whole number part and a fraction part. It's not just a whole number, it's not just a fraction, it's both. It's a mixed number. So a mixed number looks like this. 8 is the whole number, and 3/10 is the fraction. So that's a mixed number. Now, we're going to do a problem that involves 8 and 3/10. We're going to do 8 and 3/10 minus 4 1/2. If you're in my class and you're following along in your homework packet, that's number 56 in the homework packet. Okay, so to solve this problem, to solve any adding or subtracting fraction problem, you have to have common denominators. Okay, and I'm going to do a little thing I call the 4 S's. I have a whole video on the 4 S's that you can watch on my channel, but I'm going to list them right here. The first S is to skip count. We do that to find common denominators. The second S is to substitute. We substitute the equivalent fraction so that they have common denominators. The third step is to solve, and the fourth step is to simplify. Okay, I need a better marker. I got another black marker right here. Okay, so I draw a little T-chart to do the 4 S's. Okay, and the first thing I like to do is rewrite the problem. 8 and 3/10 minus 4 1/2. That's our problem. And then we're going to do the first S, which is skip count. We're going to do that right here. I take my two fractions, 3/10 and 1/2, and I'm going to skip count the numerators and denominators. And I'm going to start with the one that has the smallest denominator, which is this one. So I'm going to skip count this one a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's skip counting by ones, which is just regular counting. And then skip counting by twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay? And you can see since I started with 1/2, I already found my common denominator. Okay, so I'm going to now do the second S, which is substitute, right here. I'm going to substitute those fractions for the ones that I started with. So I have 8 and 3/10. That one didn't change because it already is a tenth. And then I'm minus 4, and instead of a half, I'm going to write 5/10, which is equivalent to 1/2. Okay, now I can solve the problem. That's the third S. The third S is solve. We're going to substitute and solve in this same box. So this was skip count. This is going to be substitute plus solve. Okay, but we can't solve it yet, because the first step in subtracting is to subtract the numerators. 3 minus 5, though, would give us a negative number. So I have to make this fraction bigger by regrouping or borrowing. So I can borrow from the 8 and put it into the fraction part. So the way you do that is you take 1 from the 8, it becomes a 7. And then I add the denominator to the numerator, and it becomes 13. So I end up with 7 and 13/10 minus 4 and 5/10. So let me say that one more time. I took 1 from the 8, and it became a 7. And where does the 1 go? Well, really you're adding 10/10 to the fraction, but the quick way to do it is to add 10 the denominator to 3, the numerator, which gives you 13. And then we can solve it, because now look, I can subtract 13 minus 5 is 8. My denominator stays the same, and 7 minus 4 is 3. So my answer is 3 8/10. My last step is to simplify. My fourth S is to simplify. Sorry, you can see that, 3 8/10. My last step is to simplify. 8/10 is not in simplest form. And the way I know that is that they're both even numbers. If they're both even numbers, they can be divided by 2. So I'm going to divide both by 2, and I'm going to get 3 4/5. So is 3 4/5 the simplest form? Well, can I divide by any prime numbers? That's how I would know. I can't divide both by 2. I can't divide both by 3. I can divide 5 by 5, but I can't divide 4 by 5. So I think I'm done. I think that is the simplest form. So there's your answer. Hit that like button. If you have any questions about subtracting mixed numbers, ask them in the comments below. If you have a problem you'd like me to solve, ask me in the comments below as well. Thanks.